seem to do a lot of talking to you when I've got when I'm eating my oatmeal. So here I go again. Anyway, I thought I'd give an update on to regular viewers of my channel and talk about what I'm planning on doing this year, especially related to boundary water strips. So first of all, I'll start out. This was a pretty lousy winter for me. Not because of the weather, but because of health issues. First of all, back in November, the middle of November, I went on a quick camping trip. Somewhere along that trip, I managed to tear my meniscus in my left knee. By the time I got home, I could barely walk. Well, it got so bad that finally I went to see the doctor and I found out what happened. I don't know exactly when it happened, but at least I knew that I tore a meniscus. So I got the cortisone injection. After a month I was better, but I wasn't as better as I'd like to be. So I went back to the sports medicine doctor, and he recommended that I go into physical therapy. So for a couple of weeks I did physical therapy on my knee. I found out some exercises I could do to strengthen things. I finally got to the point where I felt comfortable using my knee, and then I went to the Sax-Dam Bog in northern Minnesota. Sax-Dam Bog is a great place in the winter to photograph birds that you don't find in the U.S. very often. The boreal chickadees, the great gray owls are the biggest drawers up there, and there's a few other birds around that you don't see much of anywhere else, and they're fairly accessible. So I went and spent 5 days, Monday through Friday, at the bog. That's where I videotaped my little snowshoe hike. My knee held up well. I was very happy about what was happening to my knee. Got back home on the Friday. The Sunday I came down with the mother of all colds. It was mostly in my throat. I was coughing and coughing and coughing, and it was more hacking than coughing. It was horrible. First week of it was the worst. After about 2.5 weeks I finally shook that, and then it was time for me to go up to the Sax-Dam Bog again, because I was one of the vendors at the birding festival that they have every year. So I went and did that. I was fine loading and unloading the car. My knee wasn't bothering me at all. My illness wasn't bothering me at all. I felt healthy. The festival was 3 days. Packed up, went home. That Tuesday when I was unloading the car, after I got done, I felt extra exhausted, but I thought it was just from unloading the car. That Thursday I got a relapse of that cold. Or maybe it was more than that, just that cold, because I had other things going on besides the coughing at that point. That cold lasted for at least a week, a little bit more than a week. So just in time. I got pretty much over it just in time to go in to have a pre-op done. I'm going to have cataract surgery this coming Thursday. It's my second cataract. I had the other one done just over a year and a half ago. But now my left eye has gotten to the point where I need to get that taken care of. So anyway, I got well just in time to pass my pre-op physical. I did have a little bit of sinus problems going on even after that, but now I've managed to shake that, and I decided I was originally going to go winter camping this weekend, but the guy that I was going to go winter camping with had to back out, so I decided to come here to Split Rock Lighthouse to just spend a weekend. Not really winter camping. Not actually, by the end of the weekend it's not supposed to be all that much wintry anymore either. So, but anyway, it was kind of touch and go whether I was going to be over all my nasal problems and all the rest of it. But I got better just in time that I felt like I could do it. So I'm here. Anyway, so like I said, by the end of this weekend, we've already had one day a couple weeks ago where it was in the 50s. At the end of this weekend it's supposed to be back up into the 40s and 50s, and it's supposed to be getting really warm. So this might be winter's last hurrah. I don't know for sure. Being from having lived in Minnesota and Wisconsin most of my life, I know better than to think that winters can be done at the beginning of March. We usually get something else somewhere along the way, even as late as May. But anyway, I thought I'd come out and at least take advantage of what might be winter's last hurrah, and the fact that it's supposed to be getting back, it's supposed to be spring light by the end of the weekend. Be out here, because I just got so fed up being stuck inside all that time. Basically, what was it? November, December, January, February, almost 4 months, three and a half, 4 months, where I managed to get out for what, maybe 2 weeks. Otherwise, I had health issues that were keeping me from doing anything. The plans for Bounty Waters trips are, first of all, assuming we get early ice out, and all indications are that we will, I have plans to do a week-long trip with a friend of mine the last week of April. But we're planning on spending a week doing a fairly challenging route, so I've really got to work on getting back into shape. All this time of sitting around doing nothing, I'm in very, very lousy shape, which is part of the reason I'm out here, is to try to kickstart my fitness program. In May, I'm planning on joining 7 other people on a portage clearing trip. We're going to be going in on Little Indian Sioux, base camping on, or clearing the portages in that area. It's something that's I've done maybe 4 or 5 times in the past. It's been a number of years since I've been able to work it out that I could do it, but it's usually a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. Hope to get some video to show what's going on that. Oh, and of course I'll get video on the April trip too. Then I take a couple of months off from doing Boundary Waters trips. Unless I get, there's an off chance I might do a couple of, be doing a couple of, or guiding a couple of trips, a trip or two, I should say, in the June-July time frame. Other than that, I have nothing planned for that time. I am planning another 2-week solo at the end of August. Before I did last year's solo, 16-day solo, I always thought that that would be my one and only 2-week solo. But I enjoyed it so much that I've decided to go back and try again this year. The route I have planned is a lot less challenging, allows for a lot more downtime, should be able to do a lot more photographing and videoing on this particular solo than I did the last time. But of course it all depends on what the weather does to me too. Hopefully it goes back to being a more typical August and not the wet August I had last year. Then the end of September, Walt and I were talking last year that of possibly doing that trip again, going into Poplar again, but at this time instead of camping on Horseshoe, we would continue on and we would actually base camp on Hansen, and he can spend a few days fishing on Hansen while I do some exploring in the area. Hansen was a gorgeous lake. There's other lakes that we didn't get to last year that are fairly easy to get to from Hansen, so I can go out and explore. And there's a third friend that we might take along this time, that guy named Mickey might come with us. We'll still do it as 3 solos if we can figure out how we get all 3 boats up there, possibly by using 2 cars. So anyway, those are the plans I have right now for the Boundary Waters. You never know, I might, with me, I do tend to, every once in a while, I get antsy and I just get up and go. So there's nothing, other than finances, there's nothing that leaves me or keeps me from going various trips. That's enough of this. I'm going to finish up my oatmeal now, let you get back to whatever you were doing, watching more videos probably. Thanks for watching, as always. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you on trail someday. Bye for now.